Good evening, decoders. Welcome back to the channel. Late night stream. Gonna be hopefully a quick one. I just absolutely had to cover this story. Um, Bob Trumpy died. Okay, so I'm not gonna take too long getting into this. I know it's late for a lot of you, and I didn't want. It's late for me too, so I didn't want this to be extensive. But we definitely need to talk about this because, I mean, how many times have we had foreshadowings of Trump, right? And of course, the current president of the United States is Donald Trump, and this guy's name is Bob Trumpy. And I'm going to show you how it's connected to Trump, but I'm also going to show you how this is a much deeper riddle that's actually connected to the Charlie theme. It's actually, yeah, it's connected to the Charlie theme. It goes right back to the King Charles, Charlie, Charlotte, all this stuff I've been talking about for a month. It's also perfectly connected to that. So, again, I don't want to take too long. I'll give it a minute and then we'll get started. But hello to Tax Insurance. Hello to Quantum Mania. Hello to Pita. Hello to Susan. Thanks everyone for joining in tonight. So anyway, yeah, let's just get this done with. I don't want to take more than 30 minutes looking into this. So Bob Trumpy, right? He was a football player, and he was born in 1945, and that's interesting because 1945 was the year that World War II ended, and the year that the nuclear bombs were dropped on Japan. So I want you to think about that year, 1945, as we're going through this, and how Bob Trumpy was born the year of World War II ending, the bombs dropping on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was also the year of the Trinity test. That was also the year that Hitler died. So 1945, a big year. And of course, 1946 was the year after that, was the year that Donald Trump was born. So please hit the like buttons if you're just getting in. I got 13 likes so far. Please, let's get that like up to 46 likes for the 46 people in the chat. So we're going to go over this. Bob Trumpy, an original Bengal, like a tiger, right, who blazed a trail for modern game tight ends before his unmistakable tell it like it is baritone became a nation's most recognizable voices, has died at 80 years old. So first we got to understand he played for the Cincinnati Bengals in Ohio, right? And so he played for the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is all about Ohio, okay? And National Ohio Day 2025, what day was that? Okay, so National Ohio Day was November 2nd, okay? And this guy who was known for playing in Ohio, Bob Trumpy, he died on National Ohio Day. Okay, this was the day that Ohio was admitted to the Union. Okay. And so he probably died in Ohio. I don't know if it says where he died, but I'm assuming he died in Ohio. But why is Ohio so important? So Ohio equals 47. This is where I'm from. Okay. Fun fact, Ohio equals my name, Cody. Cody equals, that's my name. Cody equals Ohio. Look at this. Perfect match, right? So Mr. Cody, born in Ohio. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Ohio has that 47, right? The 15th prime, okay? So Ohio equals 47, which is the 15th prime number. Donald Trump is the 47th president. Bob Trumpy dies on the date of National Ohio Day. Now, National Ohio Day can be written 211, right? Like November 2nd could be written 2/11. Well, 2/11 is also the 47th prime to go with the 47th president, right? Right. But here's the big thing. Okay. This is what people missed. And this is really crazy how this ended up playing out. Okay. So Bob Trumpy dies on National Ohio Day when the Bengals, the team he played for, were playing a game. Now, here's the game that was going on the day that Bob Trumpy, the Bengal, died, right? Look at the score. The Bengals lost to the Chicago Bears, who scored 47 points. Okay? Again, Ohio equals 47, like Trump. Trumpy dies, right? And notice that Trump in Latin also equals 470, which is another variation of 47. Trump 47 and 470. And the Bengals lost to the Chicago Bears 47-42. Now, here's the key, guys. This game, which happened again on the same day that Trumpy died, this guy, it started with a miraculous play by number 15. You see his number? 15. Look, 47 is the 15th prime number. So on this day, this game started with a punt return for a touchdown. Started the game running the ball all the way 98 yards for a touchdown. Okay. Now, who is this guy who ran a touchdown? His name is Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones. So let's line this up. Charlie Jones runs a touchdown on the same day that Bob Trumpy dies. Okay? So the two names I want you guys to focus on is Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones, okay? Because we're going to talk about another Charlie Jones, not this Charlie Jones. This Charlie Jones, again, he wears number 15. 47 is the 15th prime. He starts the game with a 98-yard touchdown. The 98 is important here. We're going to talk about this in a minute. But the thing I want to talk about first is this. So, one more time. On the same day that Bob Trumpy dies, Charlie Jones of the current Cincinnati Bengals, he runs a touchdown, okay, to start the game, which doesn't happen often. And so then if you look into the history, let's just make this screen bigger. This is from 1997. Okay, now we're talking about a whole different era. Here is Bob Trumpy, and here's Charlie Jones. Are you guys kidding me? Look at this. 1997. The announce partner for Bob Trumpy was Charlie Jones. The same day that Bob Trumpy dies, a player named Charlie Jones stars for his old team, the Bengals. Okay, this is a different Charlie Jones. This is the Charlie Jones who's the football player currently. Back in 1997, Charlie Jones was announcing the first game of the season on August 31st, 1997 with Bob Trumpy. Now, here's the kicker, guys. What happened? Can anyone in the chat tell me what happened? What big event in history happened on this day, August 31st, 1997? Is anyone in the chat awake enough and aware enough to drop it in the chat? This is a quiz. What big event happened in history on August 31st, 1997, when Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones We're announcing the first game of the season. We're going to get to the gematria in a minute. The 119 is important here. Just wait till you see the gematria of Charlie Jones. Yes, Crystal Gem. Thank you. Look at Crystal Gem. She's on it. That was the death date of Charlie's wife, Diana. Do you guys get this? Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy announced a game on the death date of Princess Diana, who was married to Charlie, or in other words, Charles the King, who's now the king. Now, this is super important. I want you guys to follow this, okay? Because it gets crazier. So now that we know that Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones had this announcing on Diana's death date, okay? And we know that the day that Bob Trumpy died, a guy named Charlie Jones for the Bengal Tigers returned a touchdown to start the game. It was a 98-yard touchdown, okay? 98-yard touchdown, right? Guys, who became king on 9/8 in the year of the tiger? Can someone tell me? I'll wait for it. I know you guys, this one's easy. Who became the king on September 8th, 9/8, during the year of the Bengal tiger? Think about how crazy this is. So while you might think that this is all about Trump because the guy's name is Trumpy, it's really about King Charles. Because this King Charles, now Cincinnati is known as the Queen City. The Queen, Elizabeth, she died on September 8th in the year of the tiger. And now this year, the tiger, Charlie Jones, returns a 98-yard kick on the day that Trumpy dies. And Trumpy, the announcer, he announced a game with Charlie Jones on the day that Princess Diana died in a car crash. Are you kidding me? So how about that, guys? How is that even possible? Now let's just go back. Let's go back to 2020 year, the beginning of the year of the tiger. Look at this article by the People magazine. Prince Charles, this was before he became king, because he became king on September 8, 2022. Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, ring in the year of the tiger in London's Chinatown. And look at them. Again, this was before he became king. He became king on September 8th, right? September 8th. And so the year of the tiger started. So this is the key measurement, guys. So the day that Prince Charles, before he was king, he rang in the Lunar New Year with dancing tigers on the year of the tiger, February 1st, 2022. Okay? If you measure from that date, February 1st, 2022, to the date of Bob Trumpy dying and the Bengal tiger, and the day that Charlie Jones starred with the 98-yard touchdown, it was this amount of days, 1371 days. Now, on this day, 1371 days after the year of the tiger, Robert Trumpy died. Bob Trumpy. Okay? In Gematria, so Trumpy leads us to Trump. Okay? Now, what is the Gematria? I'm just going to bring up this simple cipher here. What is the Gematria of Trump assassinated? Look at this. 1371. Look at the amount of days between the year of the tiger with Charles, right? Charlie. And look at the amount of days between the year of the tiger and yesterday when Trumpy died. And look at the Gematria of Trump assassinated. 1371. Is this another clue to something, again, happening to Trump, unlike the first time where he survived? So how about that? Charlie Jones returns a kick. Now, here's evidence. Again, if you go back to August 31st, 1997, this is the year Diana died in a car crash. This was the same day that Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones announced the Colts versus the Dolphins. Now, why is the Colts? So this is big, guys. Why is this game so important to this year? The Colts and the Dolphins. Well, who's the quarterback who's leading the Colts this year to a historic start? Yes, his name is Daniel Jones. So here's your clue, guys. The very first game that Trumpy and Charlie Jones ever announced together was the Colts versus the Dolphins. And this year, the quarterback for the Colts is a guy named Daniel Jones. And when was he born? 1997. When did Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones announce the Dolphins versus the Colts? 1997. How about that? So this all connects to this guy, who I believe could go to the Super Bowl this year. It's very possible. Why do you have a guy named Charlie Jones starring, connecting us back to the year 1997, which was the year the Colts and the Dolphins played with Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy? Now, the other key here is this year, Daniel Jones started his team beating the Dolphins. Look, Colts, Dolphins. So this is the same two teams that Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones announced in 1997, the year that Daniel Jones was born. And look at how the year started this year. It was the Colts versus the Dolphins again this year on September 7th, like the year 1997. Okay? So this, I'm not going to go any more into this with the Colts, but this is all connecting back to Daniel Jones and the Colts. Next year is going to be the year of the horse. Here's Daniel Jones again, number 17, right? Why is the number 17 important? Because Ohio, where all this happened, and let me just pull up this map, okay? Cincinnati to Indy. So this is the clue, I think. And again, guys, I live right here in this area. Okay? So you can see that this is a place where I'm familiar with. Okay, I know this area very well. But here is how short of a distance is between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Indianapolis, Indiana. And again, here's Daniel Jones, and here's where this is where Charlie Jones had his kick return this weekend. And again, I'm telling you, this all connects back. It's something I've been following all year. Okay. So, but let's get to the numbers really fast, because so we know that Donald Trump, he goes by President Donald J. Trump on his official page. You see right here, President Donald J. Trump, right? Now, J is an initial for John. Now, John is short for Jones. Jones, why is Daniel Jones so important? And why is Charlie Jones? Because Jones is another name for John, okay? So whenever you see Jones, think John, which is Trump's middle name. But anyway, we all know that Trump goes by the name President Donald J. Trump on his official White House post, okay? So if you type in President Donald J. Trump, right, and you do a match, I'll show you what I mean. So look at this. President Donald J. Trump equals 309 and 120, right? Robert Trumpy, who just died yesterday, his full name, Robert Theodore Trumpy Jr., equals 309 and 120. Okay, so the same, just backwards, right? It's the same, has a 2-cipher match to President Donald J. Trump. And again, it's pretty clear that he died in connection to Trump. His last name is freaking Trumpy. Okay. So there's that, right? Which isn't the greatest thing ever, but it shows that he's connected. Now, here's what's interesting. Look how many days Trump was born after Robert Trumpy, after this guy. 465 days. Right? That's the days between Bob Trumpy and Donald Trump's births. Okay, 465 days, right? Now, if you type in the full name, look at this. In the modern key bacon cipher, you type in the full name of Bob Trumpy, right? The guy who just died. He was born 465 days before Donald Trump. Look at his gematria. Robert Theodore Trumpy Jr. equals 465, which is the amount of days between him and Trump. Wow. That's their births, between their births. 465 days. And again, right here, I'll show you. 465 days from Trumpy to Trump. Now, what's with Trumpy? With the Y, the extra Y? Well, the Y is the 25th letter. And Trumpy died in the year 2025, right? Because Y is the 25th letter in the normal alphabet. We're in the year 25. The word Trump equals 25, right? So you just add the Y to the word Trump and you get the snake tongue, right? It's the snake tongue. I always think of the Y as the serpent's tongue, right? The Y is the 25th letter, and serpent equals 97, right? And 97 is the 25th prime, like Y is the 25th letter. Serpent has the Y-shaped tongue, right? So all this connects back to the serpent theme, Donald Trump, the snake poem, all that stuff. That's why I think they add his name as Trumpy with the extra Y, right? Now, another interesting thing here is if we're looking into the zodiacs, I thought it was something else. Oh, it's astrology. Look at the gematria of astrology. And look at the gematria of Robert Trumpy. Or Bob Trumpy, right? Let me just take away these two. I thought this was super interesting. Look at the gematria of Bob Trumpy and astrology. It's a perfect match. And of course, we already talked about how this is connected to Chinese astrology with the Tiger Year and King Charles. Okay. So let's switch gears for a minute and let's talk about King Charles again, because the guy who returned the TD was Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones is the guy who announced, the different Charlie Jones is the guy who announced the Colts-Dolphins game on the day that Princess Diana died in a car crash. Okay, August 31st, 1997. That's the day Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy did their announcing. Okay. And this is a picture of it. This is back in 1997, guys, with Charlie Jones. Now, who's Charlie? What's up with the Charlie Jones? Why is this name so interesting? Well, let's look. Let's just keep it simple. Let's use the very basic English cipher and the very important Latin Jewish cipher. Let's type in the name Charlie Jones. And look at what you get, guys. Look at this. In Gematria, in the two most important ciphers, I think, look at the Gematria of Charlie Jones. 911 and 119. Wow. That's very, very low probability. I don't know if I've ever seen anything equal 119 in standard ordinal and 911 in Jewish or Latin. This is crazy, okay? So Charlie Jones. Now, remember, I connected Charlie Jones to King Charles, Charlie, in the year of the tiger when he became king, because the player Charlie Jones, he returned the 98-yard kick as a Bengal tiger, and King Charles became king on 9/8, right? When his mother died, and Cincinnati is the queen city. It's perfect, okay? Now look at this. How many days did Charlie Jones return a 98-yard kick after the coronation of King Charles? Oh, so first of all, let's go to the other Charlie Jones. He was born on 11/9, guys. Look, the other Charlie Jones, the broadcaster here with Bob Trumpy, he was born on 11/9. And what's the gematria of Charlie Jones? 11/9 or 9/11. In the United Kingdom, you would write November 9th as 9/11. But in the United States, you write it as 11/9, okay? So now, when did King Charles, Charlie, get coronated, right? King Charles coronation. When was it? It was on Saturday, May 6th, 2023. So if we measure from the coronation of King Charles on May 6th, 2023, to the death of Bob Trumpy and the Charlie Jones miraculous return, look at this. On November 2nd was the date we're measuring to, yesterday. Look how many days it was. Look at that. Charlie Jones returned this kick 9/11 days after King Charles was coronated. And Charlie Jones equals 9/11. Wow. And Bob Trumpy died this day. You guys seeing how amazing that is? This proves that it's connected to King Charles and his coronation 9/11 days before Charlie Jones, the Bengal tiger. Again, King Charles is represented by the tiger because he became king in the tiger, okay? And Charlie Jones equals 9/11. That was 9/11 days after Charles' coronation. And then Bob Trumpy dies that day, and he, in his past, he announced a game with another Charlie Jones on the day that Princess Diana died. It's just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This brings everything I've been talking about back to the full surface. I did a video like a few weeks ago on King Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. Okay? You guys might remember this. I did a decode like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and I talked about this exact thing. Okay? I talked about the importance of King Charles and the tiger, okay? And now you have the Bengal tiger, Trumpy, dying when Charlie Jones, the tiger, okay? In this show, The Walking Dead, get it? The Walking Dead. Okay? The Walking Dead. Go back and watch my video titled The Walking Dead. Then everything will come together. But this guy is named King Ezekiel, and he had a tiger. And this was many years before King Charles became king in the year of the tiger. Okay? Again, here's King Charles celebrating at the tiger year with the dancing tigers. Let's see what that equals. Dancing tigers. Well, it's got 130 like Skull and Bones. That's interesting. Also, this is a big number with Trump. 130 is a huge number with Donald Trump. But I'm not going to get into that here. But that is a big number with Donald Trump. Washington equals 130. So there's a lot of things I could say, but I just wanted to check that and see what the gematria was. But anyway, it goes back to this: Ezekiel's tiger, the king's tiger. And let's just look at the tiger theme, because tiger equals 59. Okay. When King Charles became king on 9/8/2022, it was 59 numerology. See that? It was 59 numerology. 9 plus 8 plus 20 plus 22 equals 59. That's the gematria of tiger. Okay. Now, if you go to yesterday, when Bob Trumpy died and the tiger theme with Charlie Jones, right? It was 59 days left in the year. You see? So it was 911 days after King Charles' coronation. It was on the day leaving 59 days in the year, which is tiger. He became king in the year of the tiger. He celebrated it. Bob Trumpy dies, the tiger, right? The 8/4. Now, I could talk about the 8/4, but I don't want to step on any other YouTubers' toes. And I know you guys, a lot of you guys know who I'm talking about when I talk about 8/4 and Donald Trump getting taken out, because most of you guys are familiar with this other YouTuber's work. And I don't want to be disrespectful and steal his work. So I will not touch. If you guys want to see Jurassic's work on the 8/4 and Donald Trump's head wound, go to Jurassic Liar's channel. I will not talk about that because I don't want to steal his work. I will find my own connections. And I already told you, I found the King Charles connection, which perfectly connects to this. And again, how much more perfect than you get with this Charlie Jones riddle, okay? And again, this connects to all the other stuff. Yeah, let's not call him names or do any of that. I don't want to start anything with anyone, but let's just leave it at that. I said what I said. I'll let him talk about the 8/4 head wound, and I'll just talk about King Charles, okay, and Donald Trump. But the point is, everything I laid together here is improbable, absolutely crazy, especially the 9/11. The 9/11 is really just Charlie Jones, man. And I've been following a Charlie Jones riddle all year because I've been following Charlie Kirk and I've been following Daniel Jones, okay? And then this happened yesterday, and it's like confirmation that the Charlie Jones thing is clearly on, okay? Now, I'm going to have a video about this, but remember, Daniel Jones, Daniel in the Lion's Den, right? Daniel and the Lion's Den. The next game for the Colts and Daniel Jones is going to be on what day? What day is the next game for the Colts and Daniel Jones? Look, 11/9, guys. The birthday of Charlie Jones, the announcer right here. This guy who Bob Trumpy's announcing with right here. In the year that Daniel Jones was born, 1997, the year Princess Diana crashed. Here's this Charlie Jones, right? He was born on November 9th. The next game for the Colts is on November 9th. His birthday, if he was still alive, and it's going to be Daniel Jones. And where is it? It's going to be in Olympia Stadium, Berlin. And this is where we're going to lead into my next decode, because this all goes back to Indiana Jones and the Nazi theme, guys. My next decode is going to be pretty crazy because it's going to be all about the Olympia Stadion in Berlin. The Nazis are still the rules. The Germans are running the world, guys. I'm telling you. The Germans are at the top. They're the mystery people behind this. I don't want to say Germans. I should say more like the you know what, the Nazis, okay? And so everything is going to lead to November 9th this year in a few days for Daniel Jones. Okay? So, yeah, Joseph, I don't know if you just got in here, but I already showed that that so again, if you missed it, Joseph, I don't know if I can explain it all really fast. But Bob Trumpy, he died yesterday, the same day that the Bengals player named Charlie Jones returned a kickoff 98 yards. Okay? Remember, King Charles became king in the year of the Tiger, the Bengal, on 9/8. Yesterday, a player named Charlie Jones returned a 98-yard kickoff on the day that Bob Trumpy died, and Bob Trumpy played for the Bengals. Now, what I found that blows this all away is Bob Trumpy announced a game in 1997 with a guy named Charlie Jones, but a different Charlie Jones, of course, because the player who returned a 98-yard touchdown yesterday is not the same Charlie Jones, but a different Charlie Jones, okay? So Bob Trumpy was an announce partner with another Charlie Jones. This Charlie Jones was born on November 9th, 119 or 9/11, okay? And this announced, and Joseph, here's the key. This game where they first announced together was on August 31st, 1997. What happened that day, August 31st, 1997? That was the day Princess Diana died in a car crash. King Charles, Charlie. So Bob Trumpy and Charlie Jones announced that day, this game, the Colts versus the Dolphins. The Colts have Daniel Jones as their quarterback this year, and the first game of the season this year for the Colts was the Colts versus the Dolphins. It's the same thing. 1997, 97 is the 25th prime number. We're in the year 25 now. That's why 1997 is so connected to 2025. But here's the key. If you go from King Charles being coronated to yesterday when Charlie Jones returned the kickoff and Bob Trumpy died, it was 9/11 days. And I showed that Charlie Jones equals 9/11 and 119. Again, how is this possible? A guy named Charlie Jones for the Bengals returns a touchdown 9/11 days after Charlie the King becomes king. Okay? And again, here's King Charles celebrating the Tigers, and then he became king that year. That's why this is all about the tiger. Here's King Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, the King Ezekiel has his tiger. Okay? Remember, this also connects to the life of Pi, because this is huge, actually. The Life of Pi released the original book called Life of Pi, released on 9/11, 2001, the same day as 9/11. Look. So the tiger, let me find the book. So here's the book, Life of Pi, with the tiger, right? When was the release date? September 11th, 2001. The same day, the same day that 9/11 happened. Okay, so the tiger is super connected to the 9/11 event. And look, Charlie Jones equals 9/11 or 119. So I'm really watching this upcoming 9/11 because it's going to be the Colts versus the Falcons in Berlin on the birthday of the announcer Charlie Jones, right? And again, Charlie Jones equals this date. Yeah, he did. The player, the Bob Trumpy, he joined the league in 1968. He only played for the Tigers, but look at what other team he played for, guys. He played for Utah. So this connects us to Charlie Kirk, who got shot in Utah. Okay. And I already showed you how this guy, Bob Trumpy, is connected to Charlie Jones. So you have this Charlie theme that's continuing to come. The Charlie stuff will not stop. Like, it just keeps coming. But look, Bob Trumpy was born in Indiana, Bloomington. So look, Bloomington, Indiana is where Indianapolis is. That's why I think this is connected to the Indianapolis Colts, which was the first game that him and Charlie Jones ever announced. I think the Colts are very possibly going to the Super Bowl. Don't bank it on it. Don't hold me to it. But there's lots of clues for the Colts, okay? And Daniel Jones. But again, Bob Trumpy was born in the suburb of Indianapolis, Bloomington. Right here. Not far away from me. Look at this, Kirkwood. Are you kidding me? The picture they have on Wikipedia for Bloomington is Kirkwood. Are you kidding me? No way. Like, of all things, it had to be Kirkwood Avenue. Like, this is the picture they have. The first picture they have on Wikipedia is from Kirkwood Avenue. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, Indianapolis. First of all, Indianapolis equals 201. It's called Circle City, but it's a crossroads, guys. The flag of Indianapolis is a crossroads. It's the crossroads of America. Look, the nickname for America, or for Indianapolis, is Crossroads of America. America is at a crossroads, guys. It's also called Circle City, like Life of Pi, right? I just talked about Life of Pi. And the circle, right? Circle City. So Indianapolis, absolutely huge symbolic city. It's also got Monument Circle. So there's a monument there called Monument Circle with the Victory. Victory is standing atop the monument. Okay. It's also why I'm looking at the Colts. The Colts are up until this week, they were looking like the best team in the league. Victories. They had a lot of victories after their owner died, who was born on the 201st day, his birthday is the day leaving 201 days in the year. So anyway, this isn't about Indianapolis. We're going to talk more about Indianapolis in the next decode, but this all goes back to the king and the tiger. That's basically what this decode's about. Charlie Jones. And we're going to talk about this movie, Indiana Jones. This is a sneak peek of next video. This is going to be all about this movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which came out a few years ago. And this is all going to connect to the Colts, Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones. They're calling him Indiana Jones, right? Harrison Ford's birthday is the day that Trump was shot in the ear, supposedly. So this connects to Harrison Ford, the assassination attempt, connects to Daniel Jones, the Jones theme. Jones is a form of John. We just talked about John Cena, who's going to have his retirement match. It's also was said that Trump is going to be Trump at John Cena's retirement match. Man, I can't type. It's late. Donald Trump might be a part of John Cena's farewell match. I would lose it. It would not surprise me. Donald Trump is a big friends with Vince McMahon, who started the WWE. Donald Trump and Vince McMahon expected to attend John Cena's retirement match in Washington, D.C. Again, why am I talking about John Cena again? Because John is Jones. Just remember that. Jones is another name for John. So all this Jones stuff is about John, okay? Jones is John. So when you see John Cena, you should think Jones. When you see Indiana Jones, you should think John. When you see Donald John Trump, you should think John, because his middle name is literally John. Who wrote the book of Revelation? John, okay? And fun fact again, John equals my name, Cody. I'm a perfect match to John. Look at this. That's always been weird to me, like one of those huge names in the Bible who wrote the book of Revelation, who baptized Jesus. There was another John. But yeah, John is a perfect match to Cody and Ohio. And we just talked about Ohio, where I'm from. Like, it's just weird, It's just weird. So yeah, just think of Donald John Trump. I think that's the key here. Like, his middle name is John. And I think the middle name is so important because the middle name is like the centerpiece of someone's name. So that's the essence of someone's name. Think about it. Yeah, his name might be Donald, right? But his last name might be Trump, but his middle name is the center, or in my opinion, a very important part. So it's very important to look at people's middle names as being a very big part of their essence, which is exactly why John Cena is going to be connected to all this. Okay. Somebody's saying that Obama ritual equals, because Obama was born A4. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know how this was connected to Obama. I mean, it was obviously connected to. I don't think it was more connected to Obama than it was to King Charles. I mean, show me how the death of Trumpy and Charlie Jones, the kickoff return, is. I don't think that's more connected to Obama than it is to King Charles. I'm not saying that Obama's not important here, but because that is his birthday, 8/4. But again, as Jurassic Liars always talks about, um, Trump might get taken out on 8/4. So that's why it's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not really. I mean, let's look and see how many days yesterday was after Obama's birthday, just to look. It was 90 days after Obama's birthday. $275 days before his next birthday. I mean, that's interesting because Daniel Jones' birthday is 27/5. That's the Golden Gate Bridge. But that's not a great connection. Yeah, it is 229 like Barack Obama. I mean, I think Barack equals 126 as well, like 12 weeks, 6. I mean, you could find connections all the time with that, but I think this death is more connected. There's deaths that are more connected to Barack Obama, and there's deaths that are more connected to Trump. I mean, this death is obviously more connected to Trump. The guy's name is Bob Trumpy. So, but there's no doubt that Barack Obama is connected to everything, but this seems to be more about Trump and King Charles. And if you think about it, here, these two announcers right here in 1997, And this is like King Charles right here, Charlie, and Trump. Here's King Charles and Trump. That's basically what these two guys are connected with. And remember, I did a decode this year before Charlie Kirk was shot about Princess Diana. The WWE was in France on the death anniversary of Princess Diana. And I made a whole big thing about this. I don't know if you guys remember that, but one of my big decodes for the year was the car crash of Princess Diana. And now all this happens, and these two guys, they announced the game on that day, that very day of her death. And this part's just wild. So also, just to reiterate, Robert Trumpy or Bob Trumpy, he was born in 1945, right? So this is connecting to war. Remember in the iPet goat, there's a tiger and then there's wars. You guys remember that? So the tiger connects to the war. Wait, from Trump's birthday? Hold on. Well, remember this year, King Charles and Trump celebrated their birthday on the same day because the United Kingdom celebrated King Charles' birthday on June 14th this year. Yeah, I mean tomorrow is tomorrow is 222 days before Trump's birthday, so watch tomorrow. Tomorrow is 411, right? 411, like assassin equals 411. I believe this is Kathy Griffin's birthday. Kathy Griffin. So this is Kathy. Look at this woman. What the? Is that how she looks? Is that a real picture? First of all, this is not a woman. First of all, that looks like a man. Holy shnikes, she is not good looking at all, man. Like, did you see this picture? What in the world? Looks like the It clown. She could literally play the It from the It movie. Look at this. She literally looks like that clown from the It. Like, what? Does she even think she looks good? Like, she got to do something, or he has to do something with that look, man. What in the world? But I didn't even know I was going to be talking about. I'm sorry to be mean, but this looks scary. Okay, I mean, she looks a little better here, but like, not here. I mean, that looks like me when I wake up in the morning. I mean, that literally looks like a clown. It literally looks like an It, like It. Like, if you took her face right now and you overlapped it over the clown from It, you would like almost look the same. But what's the point of me talking about Kathy Griffin, okay? Because Kathy Griffin is the one with Trump's head. You guys remember this? I'm not going to show the head, but you guys remember when she held up his head? Now, when is her birthday? When is this woman's birthday, or this man or woman's birthday? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is her birthday, I believe. Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I remember it. Oh, yeah, it's tomorrow. See? Her birthday's tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, tomorrow's an interesting day. Let's see what her name equals. 311. I mean, these numbers all could mean, every number has a connection, but let's just see her regular name. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'll look more into that, but I was just saying that because tomorrow is her birthday, and she was the one who held up Trump's head. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. This was way too long once again, almost an hour. It seems like I can never get on a live stream and not do at least an hour. I don't know what's wrong with me. But if you guys have anything else to add, please. Oh, did she? Some Maggie says she told Jesus to suck it. Did she really say that? And then she ended up looking like that? Well, I guess that's the punishment, huh? Probably shouldn't say that. But yeah, I mean, she doesn't look good right now, that's for sure. She looks like it. But yeah, I just like hanging out with you guys. But I didn't expect this to be an hour long, but we covered a lot of ground again. If you guys missed the beginning, go back and watch. If you like the content, please hit the like button. But yeah, tomorrow night we have the Eye to Eye podcast with AJ and Rambo. So I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. But until then, I hope you guys have a great sleep. Get good rest, everyone. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. See you tomorrow. So God bless.